You know what is wild? The fact that you can repeat someone's trauma, an ancestor's trauma, that never was supposed to happen to you. What do I mean by this? My name is Tony. I am a therapist, a coach, and a pharmacist, and I want to share with you a very complex system in the way our mind works, and it creates the most of our problems in our reality. Imagine a woman in the ancestry line where her child was taken away from her. This could be war, this could be the patriarchal system, this could be the simple fact that someone couldn't raise their child maybe in a kingdom or in a better setting because it was not it was a king's child, but it was a so-called bastard child, and so on. So there are many historical stories, but those stories are in your epigenetic line, meaning that you will repeat your ancestors' trauma in a subtle way and in a more different way, but you will repeat it. Many women are starting to get out of the closet, so to say, how they lost their first children to her ex-husband, who's possibly crazy or narcissistic, and so on. And women are starting to speak up. So I want to be one of these women who not only speaks up, but to make you understand that the reason that I pursued psychology and neuropsychology was because there was no legal system who wanted to be next to me, who cared at all whether my ex is normal or not, whether he is capable of raising a child or not. We had a car accident, we had quite the problems, and no judge would have understood me about the problems that I faced with my child, because it was my unconscious mind who redid those problems. I chose a man with who I could experience that whole situation about getting a father who wanted to threaten me, to take my child away from me. And I know I am not alone in this. There are so many women out there. So please, women, comment if you have been through this, because I want to tell you something. This is something that we can heal. This is something that in your unconscious mind you can heal, because it is our own minds, our own mindset inherited from our ancestry line that actually wants to redo the whole circumstance. Because if my ancestor didn't get the chance to raise her own child, or a king took her child, or whoever, in whatever way, then the descendant will repeat that pattern in a subtle way, but a father taking the child. I heard one of the women on my Instagram account who were actually her child was taken 600 kilometers away, and the justice system didn't think to give it back. In patriarchal systems, women had no power, no rights, nothing at all. And because of this, we inherited these patterns. And when you go to the legal system, when you go to a judge, who is a human, by the way, with her own unconscious programming, and because they don't understand, even in legal psychology, believe me, they don't understand these patterns, that people can have really strongly shut down certain brain areas. We know now this from brain mapping and so on, that different brain areas work in different ways. For example, someone, if they have their temporal lobe problems, they cannot have empathy. Not always, but there are always, every case is separate. Imagine a father who cannot have empathy because he has a brain problem, or he has an autoimmune disease of the brain, and he doesn't understand. He's nice, he's cute, he looks very amazing in front of the judge, but the judge would think he's an amazing father, and he can do actually very big dangers, because in the house he doesn't treat the child right, and so on. So the justice system is not yet where it's supposed to be. This is why I want to speak up, because I created techniques where I can redo our mindset and change our mindset and reprogram our whole nervous system, not to even attract from your reality these kinds of situations. So if you are a mother, I've been through this. I've been through the whole process, and I had to make my own technique. This was my own journey. I had to make my own technique to get aware and to go through the states of consciousness, to get in a higher state of consciousness where my child is with me, and where all the moment that you start to change your state of consciousness, the moment that you start to to harmonize the brain patterns in your brain, what your unconscious mind believes, that's the moment when your outer reality starts changing. So if in my reality, in my past reality, my ex wanted to change or take my child, the moment that I work on my own unconscious beliefs in this new reality, something will happen, something big that I have no control of, but something that will either give my child back or something that will help me with the situation, or I will find out something that will make it a lot more easier to judge to believe me, or I don't attract a legal situation in at all. So if you really want to change your life, I really advise you to book a consultations, or I'm in Europe currently, so I will be having workshops in Vienna and Budapest. If someone wants to, you can write. You will have my website, Integrated Self, and I am having workshops where I can teach you how to reprogram your brain in the deepest forms. It's a lot more of depth than psychology. I am an integrative psychotherapist as well, but it's a lot more deeper than just simple psychology, because I also integrated epigenetic healing and also brain mapping, so that we can understand how our brain patterns work and how we can reprogram our unconscious mind. And believe me, this is where quantum physics is starting to get in the picture, that the moment that you know where exactly in your mind you need to reprogram your mind so that your outer reality can change. Even if someone took your children away 600 kilometers away, we can work with your unconscious patterns and we can change that outer reality. Or if you had a flat tire, or if you had your ex, maybe you want them to come back. Coming back the ex, it's a little bit of a different story, but if you want to comment, and I will make a different video about that. But this is a shout out to all the single mothers, to all the people who have repeated ancestral patterns of not having justice made for them, and those mothers who suffer in silence, who had to do it all alone, just the way that I did, because no one believed them, and no one believed that their own mother was maybe bad with them, or their own father, or their own ex-husbands, and so on. And the justice system never did justice for them, because even the judges, they are going to be biased, because they are only going to redo their own unconscious programming. Think about it. If you are in the legal system, the judge is sitting at its table, so to say. He will redo that whole judging system, that whole circumstance, something that his ancestor lived in a different way. So if you are on one side of the judging panel, if your ex is on the other side, everyone will redo their own realities, and you will, the more unconscious you are, the more you replay all of your ancestors' characters. And believe me, we always redo it. If you don't believe me, come to one of my workshops. I am now having workshops in English language as well as Hungarian. So in Vienna or in Budapest, if you want to participate in one of my workshops, write me an email on my Integrated Self webpage, and I will show you when and where I will be having my next workshop. So think about this. This is a very new way of seeing reality, and you will understand. Follow me, follow my Integrated Self channel, and you will see I will be posting a lot more, so that you can understand how we remake actual trauma that our ancestors survived. It wasn't you who had to go through this. The reason why you went through this is because it taught you something really big if you have been through this. But let's break the cycle of women being abused and mistreated, and our children being taken away from us, because we have immense power with the power of our mindset and the power of our brain. So I will be waiting for you in my next video. Bye.